come this afternoon to share with you some information about dengue. For us health workers, dengue is the flavor of the year. Not only the flavor of the month, but already the flavor of the year. At the start of 2016, this year, we already were seeing a lot of cases of dengue. No? A lot of confirmed cases of dengue were already being reported. And we saw an increase of the cases, unusual increase of the cases in May, June, July. No? Actually, we're not saying it's an outbreak. We're just saying it's an unusual increase of cases. But technically, defining the term outbreak, that's an unusual increase of cases. So technically, we're in an outbreak phase of dengue because if you say an outbreak, there are a lot of connotations, may mga ramifications there, especially tourism. So the local government doesn't want to admit it's an outbreak. We're just saying it's unusual increase of cases, or the definition of an outbreak. Anyway, so my talk this afternoon will focus on what dengue is, a little background of dengue. Then we try to learn about the mosquito, the vector that transmits the dengue virus. And then some tips on how to prevent dengue among ourselves. I will not be talking about the symptoms because I think Ma'am Mary has assigned someone to be someone who has experienced dengue herself or himself will be giving you first-hand information about the symptoms that or the signs and symptoms that she or he went through while infected with dengue. Okay, so yeah. I'm so low tech. I don't know which one is it. So, I think you all have background knowledge about dengue. It's not something new, no? So it's the arrow down. So dengue is an infection caused by the dengue virus. No? There are 4 types of the dengue virus. So in a lifetime, one can have 4 infections of dengue. So dengue 1, dengue 2, dengue 3, and dengue 4. So there are 4 strains of the virus that can cause the infection of dengue. You can have dengue 1, you're already immune to dengue 1, but once you're exposed to dengue 2, you can still have dengue 2, another infection. So in your lifetime, you can, malas mo naman if you have 4 dengue infections. At the most, people can have 1 or 2 dengue infections. Super malas talaga if you get all the 4 strains of dengue. And as the first infection may be mild, but the next subsequent infections can be severe in manifestation. So it's transmitted by mosquitoes. We call them vectors. Any insect that can transmit the virus or the bacteria that causes an infection, we call it vector. So who are nurses here, aside from Mom? Right? So at least you know what we call vectors, right? Okay. So this is how it is transmitted. No? So from an adult mosquito, it bites a human being, and then the virus replicates in the different organs of the human being, until finally it is released into the blood system. No? So that when the mosquito bites you and sucks the blood, it can also suck the virus with it, because the virus is in the blood. So that's one way replication of the virus. The other replication method would be inside the mosquito itself. The mosquito bites, it feeds on human blood, so the virus also replicates in the system of the mosquito. And gets into the salivary glands of the mosquito. And when the mosquito bites a person, it also injects the virus there. So that's how transmission occurs. So and replication occurs. Okay. So we call the mosquito the vector for dengue Aedes. So there are 2 types of the mosquito. We have the albopictus, which thrives outside dwelling places, And the saucy, the mosquito, Aedes aegypti, it stays inside households. Okay? So it's mostly, most of the cases of dengue that we see are transmitted by Aedes aegypti, which stays inside the homes. However, it has already been discovered also that your albopictus can also transmit dengue. So there are two types of the mosquito that can transmit the dengue virus. So we're at the breeding sites. Of course, the tires, anything that can contain water. And it's also saucy nga siyang mosquito. It likes clean, stagnant water. It doesn't want to breathe in murky water, only clean, stagnant water. So the water that is seen inside the tires, even in the axils of the plants. That's why we're the Operation Tao, they check your plants if there are water that are deposited in the axils of your plants, like what plants are those? Bromeliads. Even if it's a small amount of water in there, the mosquito can still breathe there. Can lay its eggs in that. So, and lalo na here in Baguio, we were so fond of storing water because of our irregular water supply. So we have a lot of water containers, and if you leave your containers uncovered, the mosquito can go there and lay its eggs. So these are the more common breeding sites in the Philippines, and particularly in Baguio. Okay? So how widely distributed is dengue? So I'm going to give you this map. So dengue was first discovered, identified, and named in 1779. But even before that, we've been having reports of dengue-like diseases already. But when it was formally identified as dengue virus, it was in 1779. And a year after it was discovered and named as dengue virus, there was a worldwide simultaneous outbreak of dengue in Africa, in Asia, and even parts of America, which even today are the areas that are affected by dengue. No? So dengue is a disease of the tropics and the subtropical areas. So you can see in the map, this is Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia has the highest number of outbreaks of dengue. Parts of this one here is parts of the Western Pacific region of the WHO. So you can see the northern part of Australia, which is still part of the Western Pacific region. So the green areas are where your dengue outbreaks and dengue transmission is occurring. So another part of the world would be Sub-Saharan desert, Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. So Africa, almost all the countries of Africa are affected with dengue. And of course, Central and South America. You know, they're all part of the tropical countries. So currently we have about 125 countries around the world that have continuous infection with dengue cases of dengue. So they're found mostly in the tropics. So part of the Western Pacific region, Southeast Asia, Africa, Central and South America, and parts of the Caribbean. It's very rare to find dengue in the United States. No? If there is one case of dengue in the States, it's most likely something that was conducted outside, from travels outside of the US. All right. So there's another, yeah. There's still the red areas there are the countries of the world that are infested with very high populations of the mosquito vector of dengue. So the Philippines is not immune to dengue. In fact, it is already it's something that's endemic. When we say endemic, the infection occurs in that area all throughout the year. So in 2005, 2007 or 2008, they declared the whole Philippines as endemic for dengue. It used to be that when I was going to school, we never saw any case of dengue here, locally transmitted. No? It was only in 2005 when we had the first outbreak of dengue in Baguio City, because the mosquito was already adapted to the conditions of the city. Prior to 2005, we never had any dengue cases locally transmitted in the city. or even in parts of car. But because of changes in the environment and because of travel, the mosquito also travels, and has adapted to the conditions of the city. So we had our first outbreak of dengue in 2005. When we were going to school, when we were in school, when we were doing clinics in the hospitals, every time we get patients who were suspected of having dengue, we always ask for travel history. Have you gone down to Pangasinan, to Manila in the past 3 weeks? Because if they say no, and most likely they would say yes, we had history of travel. So, because there was no dengue here in Mali then, if you say that you did not travel for the last month or so, then you were confirmed to have dengue, then you would have spawned an epidemic already. If you don't have cases, just one case of an infectious disease would already constitute an outbreak or an epidemic in an area which used to have no cases of that infection. Okay. All right. So yeah, these are the reasons cited for the expansion of dengue in the world. It's already a worldwide event. We had our biggest outbreak worldwide last year. We started having large outbreaks last year in different countries, different parts of the world. So 2015 we started that. And now it seems in the Philippines we're continuing the transmission of dengue. Because even now we have very, very great number of cases already being reported. So extensive vector infestation, yes. We'll see later on how fast the mosquitoes increase in population. So with declining vector control, we haven't been so strict in looking at mechanisms on how to control the vector, the mosquito. So now it's extensively spread. Unreliable water supply systems, which we have also in Baguio City, and now we have the rains to contend with. After the rainy season, we expect increasing number of cases because there's a lot of pools of water left by rains where they can breathe. So we expect after the rains, we expect another wave of dengue cases. So increasing non-biodegradable containers and poor solid waste disposal, which we see. We don't even have to, we just walk our streets and we see a lot of garbage scattered there that can hold water. Increased air travel, increasing human population density, especially in urban areas. Why do we say that dengue is a disease in the tropics? Most of the dengue cases are found in the urban areas because of overcrowding and because of the issues brought about by urbanization, overcrowding, a lot of increasing demand for water. So the conditions are right for population growth of your mosquito. All right. So, okay. The next set of slides, we will be talking about the mosquito. So we have to know the enemy. When one goes to war, we have to know the enemy, so we can be always one step ahead of the enemy. So we need to learn about these Aedes, mosquito. So that's the mosquito. I think you've seen it. It's a small mosquito as compared to the ordinary mosquito in the house. It's big. Diba may mga malalaki mosquito na pure black. There are also big mosquitoes with stripes. Those are not the Aedes mosquito. It's smaller. So it's small and it has stripes on its legs and on its trunk. So they call it a tiger mosquito because of its stripes. And mind you, it's the same vector that can transmit Zika, chikungunya, and your yellow fever. So ang liit-liit na mosquito, it can be very deadly when it transmits all these four diseases. So initially we're just contending with dengue. Now we have an outbreak of Zika too, and it's being transmitted by the same mosquito. So napapatalo na tayo sa ating mosquito. There. So the life cycle, usually it takes about 7 to 10 days for the egg of the mosquito to turn into an adult mosquito. So it's fast, not fast. No? So after feeding, the adult mosquito feeds on human blood. It only feeds on human blood. Doesn't bite the dog, doesn't bite the pig. It just thrives on blood of humans. No? So after 2 to 3 days of a blood meal, can already lay its eggs. No? And after 3 days, the eggs, after 3 days, it can turn into larvae. And you see these under the surface of water containers. They're attached to the water surface. That's the larva. No? And it takes the egg 3 days from egg to become a larva. From larva to pupa, 1 day lang yan. No? It's very fast. And ito yung kitty-kitty. We call this the kitty-kitty. No? The kitty-kitty will turn into an adult mosquito after 2 days. So about 7 to 10 days for it to complete its life cycle. So that's how fast it turns from egg to an adult mosquito. So you will notice it has 2 types of life cycle. It has a terrestrial, the adult mosquito that lives on land, and the part of its life cycle is on water. Okay? That's why your management will be different on water and on the terrestrial life cycle. Okay. So yes, we can understand this one. This is how fast they can breed. No? One adult mosquito can lay its eggs every 2 to 3 days, and per laying of eggs, they can have 60 to 100 eggs. And they can lay 3 to 4 batches in their lifetime. So if you say the maximum number of eggs is 100 times 4, that's 400 eggs from one mosquito alone. So that's how prolific it says. Okay? And then every 2 to 3 days. The average lifespan of a mosquito is about 15 days in Aedes, but they can live up to a month. Okay? So in a month's time, you can have this one, as much as 2 million or so more, 2 million or so eggs from just one adult mosquito in a month. So you can just imagine how many the population of mosquito that can transmit the virus in human populations. Okay? All right. So you know this, it's only the female mosquito that bites. No? So deadly female, sabi ni Mayor. Delikado gaya ng babae. This is the female mosquito that bites, and it's the one that transmits the dengue virus. Males would just feed on nectar, but females, human blood. Para sa pamilya. So you know that. And they usually bite during daytime. The malaria mosquito will bite at night. At your Aedes, mosquito bites during daytime. No? And there's a peak hour for it to bite, usually at early morning and before late at dusk. No? The first from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 6 to 8, and then from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Those are the peak biting hours of the mosquito. How does it bite? Here it is. It lands gently on your skin. It doesn't make any sound, no? So it doesn't give you a warning that I'm coming to bite you. But there are other mosquitoes that are very noisy. That's not the Aedes. Aedes just lands on you very quietly, and you don't feel the bite. For some mosquitoes, you can feel the sting, no? The mild sting. Pero for Aedes, wala. No? And it doesn't make any buzzing noise around the ears, so you're not forewarned that the mosquito is there biting you. Right? So you can be eaten outside or inside your houses. Okay. So the speed of your Aedes mosquitoes bites is 100 liters per minute of blood, but it will not be able to get that much from one person alone. No? So it flies from one person to another to get the full amount of blood that it needs. So indoor and outdoor. you outside your chickpea will find you inside your houses. From 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, they're just on the walls. No? Nakahada po lang sa wall. And usually they prefer dark areas of the house. So you don't see them. So please don't use dark curtains so that you can see them. So they mga dark areas of the house naman resting areas naman. And it can fly 12 floors in 4 hours. Kunyari dito sa basement, it can reach the 12th floor in 4 hours. So it can ride the others upstairs. Okay. So we already told you about the breathing size. Any container, even the tansan, maliit, kung may water, it can breathe in there. This is a small mosquito. It can lay its eggs there. So yan, mga plant axials, the tires, saucers for our plants, anything that would contain water. I remember when we were sent to Ifugao during the outbreak of dengue in Ifugao, the first time we had cases in Ifugao, we had to go look for this breathing sites. Mga bottle cups, maliit. There were a lot of kitty there already. Just a small amount of water is enough for you to breathe, to lay its eggs. So anywhere in the house that would hold water, even your daughter has water there, son has water, they can breathe there. So anywhere that just holds a little amount of water, so not just plants, any animate objects there. But in Baguio City, we have the more common ones as they have gone around. It's the unused tires. So we have a lot of unused tires scattered around in the barangays, even in the rooftops of houses. You notice those? They contain water, and that's where most of the mosquitoes will be. So these are actual pictures when they were doing entomologic survey. So this familiar. You see this around, and we're in the barangays. And then of course our uncovered water containers. Okay. So drums, this is an example. These are the TPT already in just one drum. And one thing about the eggs of the mosquito, they can lay the eggs in drums, no? And when you empty the drum, you don't really scrub the drum, you don't get rid of the eggs. So that even when it's not, it's empty for some time, even up to a year, when it gets filled up with water again, the egg can already turn into adult mosquitoes. So it has a dormant state. The eggs can lay dormant for a year without water. And then when it gets water, with a dash of water, it can continue its life cycle. So that's how hard it is to get rid of the mosquito. Okay, so these are ways of that's why the DOH and the local government has been all out already trying to inform people on how to prevent dengue. And the very first thing we go to would of course be your containers. No? So you have to cover your drums, no matter how small your water container is, for as long as it's tightly closed, preventing the mosquito from getting into that. Then that's one way of preventing breeding of the mosquito. So water containers have to be covered, tightly covered. And of course, how do we prevent infra? There. So it's just in the environment, we can do environmental management, to decrease and prevent the spread of, to decrease the spread of dengue. So we need to get rid of all these containers, water containers that we don't use in the house. We cover all our water containers tightly. Get rid of standing water and plant. That's why There's the memo from the city mayor that says that we should all, it's a synchronized cleaning every 9 o'clock. Have you heard of that? There's a memo, all offices, all schools, even households, every 9 o'clock they should do synchronized cleaning. It's a concerted effort, and we can be sure that we decrease the population of these mosquitoes. You know? So every 9 o'clock, they're supposed to ring a bell for people to inform people that they're supposed to be cleaning their houses already and get rid of breeding sites. So there's the battle cry is search and destroy. Searching for breeding sites and destroying them. Operation now. Okay? And of course, for yourselves, you have to protect yourselves. At least long sleeves para hindi sila agad. You can use mosquito repellents. There are plenty around. And you can use screens or windows. Dapat sa bahay, na-screen sila. Screen so that the mosquitoes don't go in. And sleep under mosquito nets if you can. Sleeping daytime. It's a day-biting mosquito, so when you sleep during the day, you should under a mosquito net. Search and destroy, 4S, and if you have, even our bases, we're so, for Filipino families, we're so fond of putting flowers or plants in vases, right? You should always be changing the water every day or every 2 days to prevent bleeding of mosquitoes in there. Roof gutters, before the rains, we should be inspecting them and make sure that the water is free flowing, that's no water in there. Self-protection, the 4S. Siguro i-elaborate ni Ma'am Juliet on yung 4S. Search, aside from search and destroy, seek early consultation. We already have fever for 2 or 3 days. Seek early consultation. Most of the cases that who died due to dengue in our area is because they went for consultation too late already. Alright, so we have what we call action, barangay contra dengue. So we now include Zika and chikungunya because it's the same mosquito that will transmit that. So it's a concerted effort among barangay people in the barangays. The barangays are encouraged to come up with activities on how to prevent dengue. So it's all clean up drive, ensuring that the surroundings are clean and your stagnant water are destroyed. The breeding sites are destroyed. So it used to be 4 o'clock habit, now it's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock habit, because they always say 4 o'clock, the kids are already going home, parents are not, are busy doing something else. So maybe if we change it into a 9 o'clock habit, maybe we can do more there in increasing the mosquito population. Okay? So just some IEC materials that they share. And I think that's the last. Okay? So any questions? And before we ask someone to share their own experience.
Yes, sir. Now we have plants like repellent plants.
Repellents, citronella. It is mosquito, but it's
Malvarosa.
Malvarosa. I think it's citronella, but it may use, yeah, you can drive neem tree. So also a mosquito repellent. But I think they burn. But I think most of our off lotion is made of citronella pa lang. But it only drives the mosquito away, it doesn't kill it, right? It just drives it off. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Doctora. Doctora, can we be infected with dengue before, even if we are not infected with dengue?
Yeah, you can. Is that from dengue 1 to 3 It's not chronological, it's not by sequence. Depends on the circulating virus strain.
Is dengue for more serious than dengue one?
Yes, according to cases that we see. 3 and 4 are the more serious ones. Dengue 1 is kind of mild. But whether you get 4 or 5, the subsequent dengue infections that you have can be sent as a severe infection. So whether you started with dengue 4 and you were really infected with dengue 1 can be more severe after the first night of dengue. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any symptoms that differentiate one strain of virus over another?
They present with the same symptoms.
So how do we do this in a given?
It's serologic. We just have to study, get blood and speciate in the laboratory. The symptoms, whether it's dengue 1 to 4, is para. Yes, sir.
Doctor, at what juncture or point can a dengue patient resort to blood transfusion?
Because we have what we call the severe dengue is hemorrhagic. No? When you, at the later stage of dengue already, when you are so, you're biting and you have so much virus in your body, you can go into bleeding manifestations. That's part of the symptoms of dengue. No? When you go into bleeding and it's massive, and then you're already shocking, that's when they already give you blood transfusion. But right now, they don't give blood transfusion. They give you platelets. They give you whole, not the whole blood. Because they get the components of the blood and they transfuse. Before, we used to give whole blood. But now, because of the developments in technology, they get already separate the components of the blood. So whatever component you need, like if you have very low platelet, count, you can go into bleeding. No? So they just give you your platelet to increase your platelet, your platinum count, so that you bleed further. Yes, ma'am.
What about, let's say I had dengue for this type of stimulating active, do I still have the virus with me or not really?
Oh, that. There's no, what do you call that, life cycle of the dengue virus inside. Pag wala ka na, you're already immune to that strain, the virus of dengue. You cannot transmit it. Unlike malaria. It's not like malaria. Malaria, once you get infected, you cannot share your blood anymore in blood transfusion because the malaria remains in your system. For dengue, when you're infected with dengue and you recover from dengue, you don't contain the dengue virus in your system. You don't have an asymptomatic stage. Hindi ka magiging carrier. Because it's only transmitted by your vector.
After being bitten by this mosquito, after how many days will the symptoms now?
The incubation period is about 7 to 10 days. Or it can be as long as 2 weeks. But on the average, it's 7 to 10 days from the time you get bitten up to the time that you show symptoms. The first symptom usually is fever and flu-like symptoms like joint pains, muscle pains, it's all non-specific. It's like flu. That you have headaches, your fever, body pain. So on the average, it's 7 to 10 days. But it can be as long as 2 weeks. Yes.
Do you have like vaccine for dengue?
Yeah, the vaccine just came out this year, or late last year. But it's only recommended by WHO to be given in endemic areas. So the Philippines is endemic, so we have the vaccine. And yet again, it's not available for all parts of the Philippines, only in hotspots that they that WHO should identify, those with massive outbreaks of dengue. So it's only in NCR, but they're giving it for free, you know. NCR, Calabarzon, I think supplies from DOH is being given for free. But you can avail of your vaccine anywhere from private practitioners. But it's only given for ages 9 to 45 years. And it's for 5 per shot. 4,500 to 5,000 per shot. And you need three. You need 3 shots and that's about 15,000.
1,005
And that's good for the 4 strains, I think, the 3 or 4 strains. But, yeah, if you have 15,000 to spare, it's okay. Paano lang yung mix ka na lang para mag-asama your course, di ba?
Whatever that's like type 2.
So far they said yes. Because it's a new vaccine, we still don't know how long it's going to be in the But probably, it's for life. They're not recommending any booster dose. You just get the patients. It's available locally from private. Yes, sir.
That's one. Doctora, what if you are eating the right foods, and then maybe let's say you have a very strong immune system. It will still be effective with dengue.
Of course, yes.
Once it bites you,
Because there's a stage after the biting, after the mosquito bites you and the virus gets into your system, there's about 5 to 7 days for it to multiply in your system. So your incubation period is 7 to 10 days. On the average on the 7th day, you will have so much of the virus to cause already your symptoms. So, we have already, for Baguio City, we already have recorded about 15 deaths from dengue. This is the worst year since we started the outbreak of dengue in 2005. This is the worst year where we had a lot of deaths. But most of the deaths have medical conditions that make them really susceptible to the effect of dengue. But if you're in, so you hear from the radio to help up your immune system, even with very good immune system, if the virus multiplies in your system, you can always be overpowered by the virus. So maybe if your immune system is very okay, the symptoms would not be that severe. If you're immunocompromised already, even a mild infection, it can be very serious. We haven't talked about the symptoms yet, but we would like to hear from someone who has experienced it, para talagang straight from the horse's mouth, experience with dengue. Si Sir pala.
So you know Roma, right?
Yes.
Okay, but he can introduce himself. As a dengue survivor.
I haven't had the 4th strand of dengue yet, so I'm fine with that.
But you can still have that.
Yes, so I am presenting myself here to be the subject of the discussion, but more on the sharing that Ma'am Mary asked me to be my task today. Well, you saw me before entering the office with that,
Yes.
what do you call that? Nakakaawa picture. It was early this month that I experienced the symptoms. So at first that I actually attended a meeting on that day. It's an overtime meeting, so I went home and it was raining. So when I reached home, that's the time that I felt like I am chilling that night. So usually if I have chills, what I do is to intake, I overdose myself. I will be mentioning it, but please do not do it. With paracetamol and then ibuprofen. So Biflu and then at the same time naloxone. So usually, the next morning, I feel better. But with that particular night, still I have the chilling. And it got worse because, yes, ma'am, our doctor mentioned about it. I have vitamin A. It's like I have, I really don't feel well. My muscles are like wiggling. So every time I try to go out of bed, I try to get support first. And yeah, but I'm still able to manage to report to work that day. I went to the clinic, and then Madam is asking me to take a rest and then eventually go home, but we need money. Okay, so yeah, because on that day, actually, that my mom experienced the same symptoms or on her third day, say. So after 2 days that we brought her to the hospital, and then yes, dengue duo, which is the confirmatory test for dengue. She has the condition. So from work, I go to the hospital, home, hospital, so with the same condition. And then another unfortunate experience is that on my fourth day, my eyes started to get irritated, and then it's like there's a dirt inside, and then it's hard for me to open. So every time I open it, it's just half open like that because it feels dense or heavy, and then yeah, it is irritating. And then after that, well, I always go to the hospital because I was instructed by the resident of Belingon General Hospital to just have monitoring of my blood. So every day, I actually went to the 3 hospitals, Notre, SLU, and then BGH for my CBC test. So it varies. There's a fluctuation. So, but all of this are within the normal range, but it dropped until 78, which is the worst actually. 78 CBC or platelets, yes, count. And then after that, well, there is actually medication, right? So it is only water. All you need to do is to hydrate yourself. So just imagine, for those kids, because kids are also vulnerable to this kind of situation. So it's going to be challenging them. For us, actually, because for me, I lost my appetite. It's hard for me to intake food, but I need to eat because we're talking about the immune system. But I also intake vitamin C. Again, I overdose myself with vitamin C. 500 milligrams in the morning and then in the evening. And yeah, just water. So every time I'm in the office, it's good for me because water is plenty, it's available there. But at home, I feel lazy to get water to replenish my liquid. So with that, my sister came from Manila, and then she brought tawa. And then yeah, I drink the juice, and then eventually my rashes appeared. So it started from my feet going up, and then my hands here until this part. So when my rashes went out, I intentionally went to the hospital in the room of my mother because she was hospitalized, needed. So I intentionally went there early so that I can actually get a consultation with her physician because I cannot be accommodated because when I went to SLU, they said that all the residents are off today or they're busy doing something, so they actually have a cut-off for that particular day. So following day, I went early to the hospital and then waited for the physician of my mother. And then we just had a consultation and then that's it. Though it was not actually confirmed by the dengue again because it's expensive. But the doctor said, yeah, we have, but we don't have the warning signs. We're in, before, because when I I went there, they said that we will not admit you because you do not have vomit, or you do not have yes, gum bleeding or nose bleeding. So I just have nausea. I have that. And yeah, one time in the hospital when I was there, I asked also the nurse to check my temperature, and then there is effervescence or the sudden drop of temperature. So these are the things that I experienced, and it's really difficult. It's really hard. One realization that I have is that the government or the city government of Baguio, together with DOH, they are doing their best to have their program be loving to all the citizens of Baguio. But the sad thing there is that we only act on it if we experience the situation, right? Because when we went home after my mother was discharged from the hospital, that's the time that we got more responsive. So yeah, to the point that my mother is holding the mosquito racket every time she goes to bed. I bought what do you call this, katol, 2 boxes with the lavender scent, and then the mosquito lamp available sa Ace Hardware, 149 something. So I need to resort to this because the experience that I have, it made me more conscious. Considering that learning that there are 4 other or there are 3 more strands of Dengue. So those are my experiences that I need also to inform everyone. So yeah, I would like to extend a call of the DOH and the LGU that if you go home, just do your part also, especially if you have kids at home, children. So thank you.
What Sir just shared is very typical of dengue. You start with chills and fever, which can it's usually moderate to high grade for 3 to 5 days. Then you have joint pains. Actually, the pain in dengue for joint pains is very severe. It's the same with chikungunya. 2 or 3 years ago, we had also an outbreak of chikungunya here in the city. And the very thing that the patient would say would be very severe joint pains and muscle pains. That's why they call it breakbone fever also. Somebody called it, a British physician, I think, called it breakbone fever because of the severe joint pains and muscle pains that you experience with dengue. Aside from that, the rashes usually come out after the fever has gone down. Classically, it should take 3 days for the fever. When on the 4th day, when the fever is already gone, that's when your rashes would come in, or your nose bleeding would come out already. So the rashes that he was describing is very red. Right? It's not like the measles rash, very fine, and it's not so red. But the rashes for chikungunya and for dengue is very red. That's actually a manifestation of bleeding under the skin. Aside from the nose bleeding.
I remember when my husband had dengue. It's red and it has white spots.
White spots. Na makati na mahapdi. That's how they term it. Makati, mahapdi, and it's very red. Even though sometimes even the face is affected, so you're flush from head to toe. Also here, they find the rashes can show. Unlike the rashes of syphilis, you don't see any cause. So, not all patients who get dengue will go into hemorrhagic dengue. So, it's true what Sir said, treatment for dengue is very non-specific. You just hydrate yourself because it's viral. It's supposed to be self-limiting. So if you just hydrate the patient, we advise the patient to keep drinking fluids and fluid for that matter, just to keep the body volume up. Because the moment they go into bleeding, it can help a lot, so that it will prevent the patient from going into shock, losing a lot of blood and going into shock. And that's the one that usually kills patients with dengue. So So fluid, it's supportive lang. If you have fever, then you have your paracetamol. You take your paracetamol, fever, and then drink That's the only advice for patients. Like overdose daw siya ng vitamin C. Okay lang naman vitamin C, that's antioxidant. You can take as much as 200 milligrams of your vitamin C. It's water soluble naman. Any excess can go out of the urine. So there's no overdose of vitamin C.
Well,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you say it's too late for patients, what are the symptoms for these patients?
Because they're already bleeding. It's just those bleeding that easily doesn't really alarm people. Pero it's massive. The bleeding from any portal, any opening in the body. It's already severe. It can be bleeding through their stools, their urine, or through the nose or their vomiting blood. So they're already in super viremia. There's so much virus inside the system. They're already being overcome by virus. So it's actually the pinaka-ano pala is environmental management to prevent dengue. So search and destroy the breeding sites. Talagang dapat we need to mobilize everyone to decrease the population of mosquitoes. The mosquito would still be there, no? But what we can do is to decrease the population drastically so that we don't keep biting infected people and transmit the disease. It transmits, if it bites an infected person, that's when it gets infected also the mosquito. But even if it bites someone that's not infected, hindi siya transmit the virus. So the virus has to be taken in by the mosquito through infected human blood before it can transmit it to the next person that it bites. So the first person that the mosquito will bite will be the breeder himself. No? Kung sino yung nag-breed sa kanya, siya ang kakagatimpunan mo. So in your own households, magiging
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was very informative. So let's give Dr. Belingon an And well, just to maybe sum it up in one sentence, it's important to self-protect and, of course, participate in environmental management so that we can say goodbye to and say hello to a city that's dengue. We saw that on one of the slides earlier. Okay. We just before anything else, we would like to also acknowledge the presence of some of the employees from Google. Please stand to be acknowledged. And then also Miss Jennifer Elvira. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. And also we would like to acknowledge the presence of Miss Darina Adenoha, VP for Admin. And for our closing remarks, we call on Ms. Regine Arlene Torres to give us a short message.
Alright, so in behalf of ABC 360, madam, we would like to thank Dr. Shirley Belingon for that very informative talk. I believe that every one of us covered a lot of insights, maybe triggers, and probably all of the misconceptions that we have were clarified for today. And we'd also like to thank Sir Romar for sharing his experience about dengue. Basically, I think I'm the fourth case of dengue here in ABC 360 as well. I had it early July, I think. And basically, I would really agree that once you got the symptoms, you really wouldn't like to experience it again, especially with the financial costs it requires you and your family. Yes. But anyway, ABC 360 would like to take this pledge and of course sharing this kind of information, hopefully to one of our activities, especially with the recruitment, in partnering with barangays in the future in terms of information dissemination about dengue and how to avoid and hopefully achieve the goal of saying goodbye to dengue. Yes. Also, of course, we would like to solicit the advice or the help of our faculty mentors in helping disseminate this kind of information to your teachers. I know that whatever you have experienced today, like the insights you have learned today, you would really be willing to share it with your co-employees, maybe also for TIA and Pure Gold, so that we can really avoid and prevent dengue, not only in ABC 360, not only in Philippines, but hopefully for the entire city. Yes. So I encourage everybody to please practice, not only in our homes, and also would like to seek the help of our facilities department, and of course facilitating the synchronized cleaning, search and destroy action or intervention. Yes, maybe not 3 at 9 a.m. because we have the operations not to do that much during the time, but hopefully we can implement a specific plan wherein we can also help in pursuing the goal of our city health office. So anyway, thank you so much for your attendance for this talk, and we're looking forward for more talks. Maybe hopefully not with dengue next time, but more of like the preventive aspects, and of course more on the